This is gonna be my overview of the LPL roster swaps and changes in Split 3, the goofiest off-season ever. Now, I'm planning on exclusively going over the ones that matter, as I have highlighted here, and the reason being is that the LPL tends to have a lot of changes, and the reality is that the upper half of the bracket is all that really matters, or, you know, like like long-staying orgs that have a very passionate fan base. So those are the ones that I plan on talking about today. Um, and then we'll finish this up with a tier list and how I think LPL Split 3 will go. Now, mind you, I wasn't able to watch as much as Split 2 as I was Split 1. And I haven't been able to catch up on LPL as much in 2025 as I have in 2024 and 2023. As many of you know, I've been very passionate about the LPL for a very long time. And I didn't even join Twitter. I was watching LPL before I joined Twitter. So keep that in mind. Hey guys, quickly gonna interrupt the video. If you liked what you've heard so far and you want to support the channel, just starting out, please drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe. Really appreciate it. Just getting started, just starting to get into the hang of things. So I'd really appreciate it. There is more content on the way, so we'll see where that goes. But I want to start off with the jungle changes. Um, so these are all the jungle changes that have happened for Split 3. So first off, Aki joins Thunder Talk. Aki replaces Zhou Huangren. For those of you who don't know, Zhou Huangren was an academy player of Thunder Talk that got brought up as soon as Beishuan got moved to BLG. In the middle of Split 2, where BLG was probably having the roughest split of all time. In my opinion, Aki is just such a massive improvement to the roster, even though Aki as a whole underperformed in his previous splits. Aki was performing really well during 2024, and probably was close to actually reaching that. Was pretty close to reaching Worlds. I believe he had a fourth place finish, pretty consistently throughout 2024. Now, again, I think a lot of that has fallen off in 2025. I don't think he's anywhere close to where he was in his 2024 form. However, I do think that he's a direct improvement over Zhou Harang, and I would argue that he's probably at a similar level to Beishuan. That being said, despite it being a massive improvement to the roster, I don't think they're going to be contending with top teams, and you'll probably still see these guys sit around the Nirvana group, which is basically their lower group. And obviously, a jungle roster move, a BLG moment. I'll be referring to every jungle roster move as a BLG moment going forward. Um, Also, I had a very short spike in viewership there. But yeah, whatever. So we're gonna move over. Oh, hold on. So now we're gonna move over to Wei joining IG. Wei was removed from BLG from, this is internally, these are entirely rumors, an internal protest at BLG to get rid of Wei. Knight, Bin, and the rest of the team did not want him on the team and was basically doing everything they could to get a new jungler. This includes the head coach, by the way. However, they eventually ended up getting Beishuan, which is, I mean, I don't consider it an improvement. But they were underperforming with Wei. Now again, I don't. Again, they're. What I've been told is that there was a possibility that they were throwing, through the LPL. So a lot of you watching right now probably aren't like watching LPL pretty actively. It was rumored that BLG was actively throwing this split to remove Wei from the team, and they were successful in doing so. Which is why you saw Beishuan at internationals instead of Wei. Wei is still a top 5 jungler in the league. That's not a question. Like, he is easily one of the better ones. And rumor has it he's replacing Gigi as a starter on IG. I don't think this is a good decision. But that being said, Gigi's still not leaving the roster. He is officially on the roster. He's just chilling at home. But this is going to be a 6-man roster. Now, I don't know whether or not this is going to just have Wei be the starter for a majority of the season and Gigi swapping in. I think Chi is the better jungler. Again, this is like highly influenced by the fact that it's rumored that BLG was throwing. But again, I think that this is an entirely unnecessary change that IG is bringing in. But when Wei is on the market, it's fair to just pick him up. I'm not a big fan of this choice. I think there are other teams that desperately need a jungler a little bit better, and notably Top Esports, or actually not Top Esports, sorry, Weibo. Weibo. I keep on forgetting that Tian is no longer on Top Esports. Anyways, and this is technically still a rumor, but as you can see, a lot of Chinese leakers are pretty much 100% on this. Shadow is joining BLG. This came out while they were currently playing in Riyadh at the Esports World Cup. While it is still technically a rumor, I'm going to take this as being essentially confirmed. Um, Shadow is not an improvement to base one. I think Shadow had one good split, and they're trying to make changes, and it's just not going to work. It's just that's just not how it's going to like pan out. Sorry, I'm like looking at my phone. I'm looking back at here. I should probably look at the camera. Um, sorry, my apologies. Um, Unofficially, he's taking Wei's current spot as like the sixth man and like a replacement jungler. But this is just the BLG jungler merry-go-round. They've had Jun, they've had Wei, um, they've had Beishuan, they've had Shadow. We've joked that they're gonna get Owner, Peanut, like they might as well just take the whole league at this point. Hey, who knows? Maybe I'll be the BLG jungler. Who knows? I might be goated like that. Um, so here are the support changes that are coming to the LPL. So one, Crisp is going to be joining Weibo. Um, I think. Hold on. Sure, I'm covering part of my slide, but it's okay. He's finally back with Light, which is really nice. I think that this is a genuinely strong move that actually puts Weibo in a question for can they reach Worlds? Yeah, I think it's very possible. I mean like realistically, what last split? Hold on, I got split two. I wanna just pull up the results just so that you guys have a visual aid. I'm fairly aware. My memory is like kind of fuzzy, but like realistically, Weibo was where was Weibo? Yeah, Weibo came at about what position is this? Yeah, they came top five. Like this is genuinely like a good position to be in because you can push yourself to third and take that LPL third slot, um, and be a genuine contender inside of the league, right? So this is this is something that can genuinely push them up above Team WE and IG. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, the way I see this, hold on, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Is that this was a win for both rosters that made this choice. Oh yeah, I mentioned it here, but Tian needs to step up. I think he's like easily the weakest part of the roster. Obviously, he has a long history of being a Chinese jungler and always being somebody who can really show up when it matters. But actually, no, he doesn't show up when it matters. He's there majority of the time, but he just doesn't show up when it matters. And I think you can't have that on this kind of roster. So, Hung joins Top Esports. This is something that I'm particularly excited about, and the reason I say this is because this is a massively coin flip team. Him and Jackie Love are dedicated inters. They're passionate about this game. It's really something to behold. I don't think I've seen inters like this since I don't know my CS:GO teammates. All right, I've never seen people throw so hard. All right, I've been experienced this since I've been told "Sika Bliet" when I was 12 years old. All right. Now that being said, I think that this is a great team. I think this is gonna work out fantastically. Because either way, either A, I'm gonna watch some crazy good gameplay and insane hand sniffs, or this is just gonna be a content farm. Not for Top Esports. They're not gonna get a content farm. Every other team is gonna get a content farm. I want to make that very clear. That being said, that's why I say Beth says this roster move a one, maybe. Um, Now that being said, there is another person on the team, Feng Wei, which actually you guys can't see because my camera's covering it. But I guess he's a sub jungler if Hung doesn't work out. I don't know, man. It's weird to have extras like to assign two supports at the same time, but Chinese teams seem pretty dead set on having a 6-man roster. Which to be fair, I think the two roles you do want to have that for is support and top lane. So CFO have demonstrated it very well and how it can work. And I think that support there is room to do that. I don't know Feng Wei particularly. Um, I'm not very familiar with him. Now that being said, um, I think that Hong is obviously a tank player, and maybe Feng Wei is like their enchanter. Maybe they tried enchanters and they're like, we like Feng Wei better when he's on this. So we'll see where that goes. Now we're going into the big roster changes. These are the big money moves. All right, this is the stuff that matters. All right, this is what you wake up for. This is what you these are the kind of changes that keep you up at night. All right, so JDG, 8 old men yelling. These guys have 8 coaches. You know how disgusting that is to have 8 coaches. Very disgusting. They brought in both Sin and Clearlove. For those of you who aren't familiar, Clearlove was the EDG coach, and Sin was the Fun Plus coach. They're just like, hey, we see mediocre, we're gonna bring that in. Now, all that being said, I think that I'm hesitant on Sin, and I'm a little bit more positive about Clearlove. And the reason I'm a little bit more positive about Clearlove is because one, he's a Korean coach, so he can work with pace. He's worked with Wink before, and Scout. He's also worked with Scout. He was actually working with Scout when they won Worlds. So that could be good. If that magic comes back and that sauce gets cooking, we could have a very competitive JDG. That being said, the changes made might not be good. Zhaozhu for Ale. This is a very obvious budget pickup. Ale had been a part of a scandal last year, and where he was a pet abuser. And I think that definitely alienated fans. Another thing too, I think Ale underperformed, which doesn't help. And Yazoo, surprisingly, the RNG roster wasn't completely ass. Um, but it's very obvious that RNG is selling off all of its assets. We'll get into that in a little bit. But this is very much a budget pickup. I don't have high expectations for Seshu. That being said, he has a good Cassante. He does have a good Cassante. Unfortunately, he's only able to use it once a series. But he does have a good Cassante, I'll give him that. LGD somehow has a reputation of printing out good top lanes. Another thing too, no, they don't have a reputation for it. I'm just biased towards it. I think LGD, for whatever reason, always gets their hands on a half-decent top laner. That's just way better for the rest of their team. Wink for missing. Now, this hurt me personally. It was very obvious that missing was going to go. I think he underperformed. He's been underperforming ever since Fearless came in, and that's because he's essentially been like an insane Rakan. And if you do choose to ban Rakan, then you just sort of let his teammates just completely run over you. And now that he's only able to play Rakan once a series, it blows. It fully just blows. Like missing is essentially just a Rakan one trick that is able to play at a decent level as an LPL player, right? So it's like Rakan, he's like top in the league. He's like he blows everybody else out of the water when he's playing Rakan. Then when he's off Rakan, it's like whatever. And now that you can only play Rakan once, that threat is gone. And it sucks for him. And I know he's taking a break. This was a personal decision. It was also like it was his decision to leave GDG. This is not a management thing. Now there might have been like a discussion where it's like, hey, maybe we replace missing, but as far as we know, missing left on his own. So putting in Wink, I think Wink was the second best option on the table. I think there is obviously somebody better. which I will go into for a bit. I'll get into later. Wink won't win us. Won't take us to Worlds. Wink won't take us to Worlds. It's funny because once upon a time, like Wink's raw like history. If Wink's on a roster, it's probably if Wink's on a team, that team is washed. All right, he was on RNG at its lowest. He's been on EDG at their lowest, and now he's about to go on JDG, and they're about to hit their lowest. I guarantee that this roster is going to blow up next year. That being said, I'm a good old JDG fan. I gotta believe in them, and I'm gonna give them my full support. But I'm not the most hopeful. Um, these are at the end of the day questionable. Um, I don't think they were the best people on the table. I also don't think they were the worst. Um, but these guys will be content demons. They are going to be the G2 of the LPL. They are going to be the G2 of the LPL, and not in the G2 dominance way. I mean like international G2s of the LPL. Just content farming. These guys are just going to content farm. Wink is a tic tac demon. FPX. TLDR, the roster got nuked. Everything that was working for them got nuked except for Joy. These are downgrades across the board. I think IE is worse than Shadow. I think Jackie is worse than Assume. Um, I think Hong Kong shouldn't be there, but that's just me. What I do know, though, is that Jue is fucking molding. He is so pissed. And Hong Kong is probably there for the moment that Jue just mental booms and doesn't want to be on the team anymore. Jue is livid. Jue went around tryouting with a bunch of different teams, and I don't know why he wasn't signed because he's fucking nuts. But that being said, um, he does not like the fact that Assume is gone, and he does not like Jackie. We know this. These are facts. So this team is going to be mentally boomed. Unfortunately, Sheer is going to suffer because he's a top laner, and even though he's a great rookie and he's actually been performing quite well, um, he's going to suffer in this roster. He's going to suffer. Care is a big old piss chillin' nothing burger who gets his paycheck. I's not a good jungler. Jackie's not a good ADC, and Dre's gonna put his efforts in until he mental booms. NIP try to climb XD. I'm mostly unfamiliar with a lot of these names, but sorry, it's getting pretty late. I think Nayu is a direct improvement over Aki, which is nice. Dornby isn't left alone. Dornby's kind of been suffering this 2020, 2025. But Nayu's only been really good for like very recently, and I'm very hasty to judge it off like a couple good splits or even just one good split, because we all know how fast people fall off in this just in this sport, realistically speaking. I think keeping solo kill over Sanji was needed. I think Sanji fell off significantly with Fearless Draft. It sucks because I think Sanji was really good last year. The entire NAP roster last year was really good, and it sucks that they've kind of switched everything up. But I think NAP should have tried getting Photic back. I think keeping Lee was a terrible idea. But Photic is currently sitting on the bench, so they should have tried to get Photic back. I don't know what the interpersonal relationships on that are. Nickit to like from PP got to Nickit seems like a 1-to-1. Like again, this is like a bargain bin RNG purchase. Again, like it just doesn't make sense to me. So what's happening to RNG? Let's quickly go over this. RNG currently owns 25 million. This happened in the middle of last split. They currently own 25 million USD. They don't have a roster yet. This league starts in a couple hours. They don't have a roster yet. This is their official roster. I went on the LPL, the Chinese LPL website, the one that actually updates. This is their roster. It's Milky Way and Taiwan, and they're going to contract jail Milky Way to pay it off. They're going to keep on renting Milky Way to slowly pay off their debts. I guarantee it. That is what's going to happen. RNG is going to go from the league. They're going to contract jail Tango and Milky Way, and they're going to constantly go off and try to send them like for a yearly contract and get the money from another org. right? It's going to happen. These guys are completely fucked. Their careers, they're going to be shafted for money for the rest of their years. Hey man, whoever, listen, I know RNG's contract lawyer is kind of goated. Don't get me wrong, their current lawyers are completely fucked, but whoever wrote Milky Way's contract, oh yeah, he better get paid a good. He's getting that bonus. It doesn't matter how broke RNG is, he's getting that bonus. Anyways, tier list time. So let's move on to getting our LPL tier list. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the big one. Anyone legend is going to win LPL again. It's hard to find anybody in the league that matches. It's gonna be hard to find anybody in the league that matches Flandra's champion pool, Tarzan's synergy with his team, and synergy with Cal, right? Shanks has always been an insane mid laner. He's just been shafted on everything he's been on, historically speaking. And then Hope is pretty good too. I don't think Hope has been shafted as hard as other players, but I think that the expanded nature of the Fearless draft has really benefited him. So I think anyone's legend is gonna win LPL again. As for my two Worlds picks, Top Esports and Weibo. I don't think BLG will make it. That's my hot take. You heard it here first, folks. I don't think Top Esports. I don't think BLG will make it. It's crazy to say a roster with Ben and Knight. Ben, Knight, Elk, and On might not make it, but I just think with the way that team's playing, and the improvements that Top and Weibo have made, like realistically, like look at these playoffs here. I mean, there's an argument for IG actually. Hold on, I should. If I'm being honest, I forgot how good IG is right now. For like a hot second there, I forgot that IG actually improved. Like, it's really easy to forget that, but I think okay, hold on, I think this is the best way to do it. I think that every other team in the league went down, and I think that for whatever reason makes JDG like real contenders. FPX just nuked their roster. WE I think was like a complete luck run. I don't think that team's good. I know they played really well. I just don't think they're good. But they'll definitely make playoffs. I think obviously it's crazy for me to put a fourth team all the way down in playoffs and like sixth, realistically. But I just can't imagine like I just can't imagine this working like that happening again. That roster of what's it called? Cube, Monkey, Kid, Karis, Tayun, Vampire. Like Tayun's probably the only like Tayun and Cube are probably the only two that I can like, constantly be like, yeah, they're good players. The rest of them, I don't know. LGD. Actually, well, I mean, is FPX a? Oh, hold on. This is where we start getting like, discussing people. We've gotten through the good players. How many people are actually even going into the playoffs here? Hold on, let me look here. Uh, hold on, how many people? Okay, I'm checking this back. I just need to know who actually like went into playoffs. Okay, well, there's Top, FPX, BLG, IG, Anyone's Legend, WE, JDG, Weibo. That's 8. It's 2 teams. I feel like all these are already in there though. Am I counting wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, okay, I have 7 here. It's really a question of who I think is going to be 7th. I don't think it's FPX. I'll keep it a bug. I don't think it's FPX. Where's LTG's roster? Um, it might be TT. Alright, hold on. I don't remember everything like directly. Oh, wonderful. I can just go to a player that I know plays for the team. Where the hell can't I go TT player? Ah, yeah, there we go. TT Spring. Yeah, the only thing is that I think that even though I don't, it's kind of hard. It's hard to say when you have when like you're playing with a bad jungler, it makes a difference. And the reason I say it makes a difference is because they were genuinely looking good at page 1. And I think Aki might be an improvement. It's gonna be a hot take, but I'm gonna put Thunder Talk in playoffs. I'm gonna say FPX lose early, LGD lose early, NIP lose early. Um, OMG's garbage, Ultramar's garbage, LNG also lose early. ADG is garbage and RNG is broken. Actually, no, EDG also might be broken homeless. The reason I say this is because they lost the lawsuit against Scout. So this is gonna be our LPL tier list. So this is like a bunch of thing. Wow, wow, I have a lot more viewership today. Hello, lurkers. Hi. It's so nice to meet you guys. This is like fairly new to me. Oh, I should have done some kind of proper conclusion. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go back to tier list time. All right. So that wraps up the tier list for the LPL. I'm so glad all of you could join me. I know the LPL is literally